Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me on this fascinating journey into the world of rare coins, where today we are going to dive deep into a story that combines history, human error, economic intrigue, and the incredible value that can emerge from a tiny piece of metal, specifically the 1999 1-cent coin. A coin that has astounded collectors and numismatists around the world because of the astonishing price it can command, up to $18 million in some cases, due entirely to errors and mistakes that occurred during its creation and distribution. Imagine holding in your hand a coin so small, so seemingly insignificant, yet carrying within it a story of mistakes that have turned it into a multi-million-dollar treasure. The 1999 1-cent coin, commonly known as the penny, was intended to be a simple currency used for everyday transactions, but in the case of certain rare versions, it became an icon of numismatic rarity due to an array of errors and mistakes that were introduced either during the minting process or as a result of mismanagement, misalignment, or technological failures at the U.S. Mint. These errors can include, but are not limited to, misstrikes, off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, wrong-planchet compositions, repunched mint marks, and various other anomalies that collectors dream about and often pay astronomical amounts to acquire. Each error tells a story, whether it be a misalignment that resulted in the obverse and reverse images not lining up properly, creating an almost surreal effect, or a double die, where the image on one side of the coin appears double due to an error in the die-making process, giving the coin a sense of unique dimensionality that is impossible to replicate. In addition to these errors, there are also cases of planchet errors, where the metal disc intended to be stamped into a coin was either the wrong composition or improperly prepared, leading to coins with unusual color, texture, or weight. These subtle differences can create enormous value because they represent a deviation from the standard minting process that is highly prized by collectors and historians alike. The 1999 1-cent coin is particularly interesting because it sits at the intersection of modern minting techniques and human oversight. In an era when computers and precision machinery dominate production, even a tiny misalignment or misstrike becomes extraordinarily rare and therefore extraordinarily valuable. Consider the possibilities that arise from these errors: an off-center strike that leaves part of Lincoln's profile cut off, a coin with a die crack running across the reverse shield that makes it resemble a miniature work of abstract art, or a penny where the mint mark has been accidentally repunched, giving the illusion of a double stamp that immediately catches the eye of seasoned collectors. Each of these anomalies can multiply the coin's value exponentially, turning a 1-cent piece into a collector's dream. Furthermore, the rarity of these errors cannot be overstated. While millions of pennies were minted in 1999 for circulation, only a minuscule fraction exhibit the types of mistakes that render them worth millions, and the scarcity drives demand higher than almost any other factor. The human fascination with error and imperfection plays a huge role here. People are drawn to the idea that a mistake in an otherwise highly regulated and precise system can produce something unique, something that stands apart from the ordinary and becomes a symbol of both accident and opportunity. There is also the historical and cultural context to consider, as the 1999 penny comes from an era when coin collecting was experiencing a resurgence, fueled by both nostalgia and an awareness that certain errors could generate staggering financial returns, which means that the market for these coins has been inflated not just by rarity but by desire and speculation. Imagine a coin being produced in a mint with millions of identical copies, and yet a few slips in alignment, die preparation, or metal composition turn a mundane object into a piece of history, a tangible artifact of both human fallibility and mechanical imperfection. Errors like these are meticulously catalogued by numismatists, who study every line, crack, and deviation, and when a coin is authenticated, it becomes part of a very exclusive club, one that combines historical intrigue with the thrill of discovery and the potential for financial windfall. For example, double dies, which are particularly prominent in the 1999 1-cent coin, occur when a die receives an image impression more than once, slightly misaligned, which produces a doubled effect that is visible to the naked eye, and because such errors are rare, they can exponentially increase the coin's worth. Similarly, off-center strikes occur when the coin blank is not properly aligned in the press, resulting in part of the design being truncated, which makes each coin unique and impossible to reproduce artificially without extensive knowledge of minting processes. Die cracks and die chips create miniature ridges or imperfections that can run across the coin's surface in seemingly random patterns, but these patterns are what collectors find most fascinating because they are entirely unpredictable and unique, a one-of-a-kind signature left by a machine and a human process gone slightly awry. The possibilities for these errors extend beyond just the physical imperfections. There are cases where coins were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning a copper penny might be mistakenly struck on a zinc planchet or vice versa, producing a coin with unusual weight, coloration, or sound when dropped, each of these characteristics adding layers to its collectability. The economic implications are also remarkable because they illustrate how rarity, human error, and desire intersect to create a market where a 1-cent coin can be worth $18 million, which is a dramatic testament to the psychology of collecting, investment, and the allure of owning something that almost no one else can claim. Beyond the financial aspect, there is the thrill of detective work for collectors, who scrutinize each coin under magnification, looking for subtle clues, tiny die cracks, misaligned mint marks, or faint doubling, that indicate extraordinary provenance. The 1999 1-cent coin with errors is also a reflection of technological evolution, showing how even with advanced machinery, small human oversights or mechanical limitations can create anomalies that later gain legendary status. Some coins from this year show planchet flaws where the metal was not fully annealed, causing minor warping or unusual luster, and these imperfections, rather than reducing value, often increase it because they are so rare and aesthetically interesting. Others show what collectors call broadstrikes, where the coin was struck without a properly sized collar, allowing the metal to spread outward and creating a larger, more irregular shape, which again is prized for its uniqueness. The excitement around these coins is compounded by the stories that come with each one: who discovered it, under what circumstances, how it was authenticated, and the journey it took from mint to collector. All of these narratives add intangible value, turning an already rare object into a cultural artifact, a conversation starter, and an investment that captures the imagination. In essence, the 1999 1-cent coin demonstrates how mistakes can transform ordinary objects into extraordinary treasures, how human and mechanical errors can converge to produce something beautiful, rare, and historically significant, and how collectors, historians, and investors alike are drawn to these anomalies for their combination of visual appeal, historical context, scarcity, and financial potential. The coin's worth is not just in the metal it contains but in the story it tells, the story of precision machines imperfectly operated, of human error captured in metal, of chance occurrences that elevate an everyday object into a symbol of rarity and desire. The sheer magnitude of its valuation, reaching up to $18 million in documented cases, reflects the perfect storm of factors that make this coin so extraordinary: the technical minting errors, the minuscule probability of occurrence, the meticulous cataloging by numismatists, and the intense market demand from collectors who recognize that they are acquiring not just a coin but a piece of history, a singular artifact that embodies both the unpredictability of human processes and the possibilities inherent in error. This phenomenon invites broader reflection on value itself, suggesting that what is deemed worthless or ordinary can, under unique circumstances, become priceless simply through deviation from the norm, through the imperfections that remind us that perfection is not only rare but also not always desirable. In this way, the 1999 1-cent coin challenges our assumptions about money, about error, and about the intersection of craft, chance, and commerce, proving that even the smallest object can hold immense significance, that even the humblest penny can be transformed into a treasure of staggering proportions, and that the world of coin collecting is as much about curiosity, discovery, and appreciation for anomalies as it is about financial speculation. For those who study and pursue these coins, each error is a story, each mistake a window into the minting process and the era in which the coin was produced, and each acquisition a triumph of diligence and insight. The potential for such coins to exist in private collections. Next. 1996 D1 cent. Today we are going to focus on one of the most extraordinary examples of numismatic rarity and human error, the 1996 D1 cent coin, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors, investors, and enthusiasts alike because of its astonishing valuation, with some specimens reportedly selling for as much as $16 million. A staggering figure that turns an everyday piece of currency into a legendary artifact, and the story behind this transformation is rooted entirely in the errors, mistakes, and unusual circumstances surrounding its production and survival, making it a perfect case study in how rarity, human oversight, mechanical imperfection, and historical context can combine to create immense value from what was intended to be a simple, mundane coin for daily transactions. The 1996 D penny, minted in Denver, was produced during a period when the U.S. Mint was using modern coinage technology, including precision presses, automated inspection systems, and standardized die processes, yet even in such a highly controlled environment, errors can and do occur, and in this particular year, certain mistakes went unnoticed, resulting in a very small number of coins that differ significantly from the standard issue, and these differences have made them extremely valuable. Among collectors who specialize in error coins, misstrikes, and other numismatic anomalies. These errors can manifest in numerous ways, including misaligned dies, off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, die clashes, incorrect planchets, broad strikes, repunched mint marks, and other variations that would normally be considered flaws but in the world of coin collecting translate directly into rarity and monetary worth, with each type of error carrying its own set of characteristics that make the coin unique and highly sought after. For example, off-center strikes occur when the blank metal disc, or planchet, is not correctly positioned within the coin press during striking, causing part of the design to be missing or truncated and creating a visual anomaly that is immediately recognizable, and these coins are extremely rare, especially from modern mints where quality control is rigorous, and the rarity alone can drive the coin's value into the millions, as is the case with the 1996 D-cent double dies, another category of error, occur when the die itself, the piece of hardened metal used to stamp the coin, receives the engraved design more than once in slightly different positions, causing the design on the coin to appear doubled, an effect that can range from subtle to dramatic and that numismatists prize because it is both visually striking and mathematically improbable given the production numbers of modern coins. Die cracks and die chips are additional forms of errors that enhance the value of coins like the 1996 D penny, and these occur when the dies develop fractures or pieces break off during production, leaving small raised lines, irregular ridges, or indentations on the coin's surface that create a unique pattern, almost like a fingerprint, which ensures that no two error coins are exactly alike and provides collectors with a tangible connection to the minting process itself, where the combination of metal, pressure, and human oversight produces one-of-a-kind artifacts. Planchet errors, including improper metal composition, incorrect sizing, or defective blanks, can also be found in some of the rare 1996 D pennies, where the metal composition might be inconsistent, leading to unusual coloration, weight, or sound when dropped, characteristics that further distinguish the coin from the millions of standard circulation pennies produced that year. And these anomalies elevate the coin from everyday currency to a treasure for those who understand the science and craft behind coin production. Broad strikes and off-center strikes sometimes occur in conjunction with die errors, resulting in coins that not only show doubling or cracking but also an uneven shape, expanded metal, or partial designs that seem to float in isolation, and such combinations of errors are exceedingly rare, making the coins almost museum-quality artifacts, and when authenticated by professional numismatists, they can command prices far beyond anything a typical penny would ever achieve, reaching into the tens of millions in extreme cases. Another fascinating element of the 1996 D penny's value is the role of repunched mint marks, which occur when the small d indicating the Denver Mint was stamped more than once on the die, slightly misaligned, creating a shadow or doubling effect that is subtle yet highly prized by collectors, and when combined with other errors like off-center strikes or die cracks, the uniqueness multiplies, creating a coin that is not only rare but visually captivating, a tangible representation of the delicate interplay between machine precision and human oversight. The allure of these coins is also amplified by scarcity. While millions of pennies were produced in 1996, the fraction that exhibits these kinds of mistakes is extremely small, and rarity, as anyone familiar with collectible markets knows, is a powerful driver of value, particularly when the object in question is a piece of currency that was never meant to be rare, a phenomenon that adds an additional layer of fascination for collectors, who not only seek financial gain but also appreciate the historical and technical story encapsulated in each coin. The economic implications of owning such a coin are extraordinary, with $16 million valuations representing not only the numismatic and historical importance of the coin but also the psychological and speculative factors inherent in the market, as collectors are willing to pay enormous sums for the assurance of owning something unique, tangible, and documented, and the coin's provenance, who discovered it, how it was authenticated, and the chain of ownership, further enhances its value, creating a narrative that adds meaning and legitimacy to what might otherwise be considered a simple mistake. Beyond financial considerations, the 1996 penny also represents a fascinating intersection of technology, human imperfection, and chance. Despite sophisticated machinery designed to produce perfect coins, minute errors in die engraving, planchet preparation, alignment, or striking pressure can create artifacts of extraordinary value. And these errors serve as physical evidence of the unpredictability inherent in even the most controlled industrial processes, reminding us that perfection is rare and that beauty, intrigue, and value can emerge from imperfection. The possibilities for these errors are virtually limitless, from off-center strikes that cut off Lincoln's profile or truncate the reverse design, to die cracks that form intricate patterns across the coin's surface, to double dies that distort letters or images in unexpected ways, to planchet anomalies that create coins with unusual luster, weight, or sound. And each of these deviations is magnified in significance by its rarity and the historical context of the coin's production, especially in a year like 1996 when the mint was producing billions of coins, but only a handful carried these extraordinary characteristics. Collectors and numismatists meticulously document and study these errors, often using magnification, light analysis, and historical records to authenticate coins and determine their precise classification, and the most rare and extreme examples can become centerpieces of private collections, auctions, and even museum exhibits, where they are appreciated not only for their monetary value but also for their aesthetic, historical, and technical significance. The story of the 1996 penny is also one of human curiosity and persistence. Many of these error coins were discovered in everyday circulation, tucked away in jars, wallets, or cash registers, and the moment of discovery transforms the coin from a trivial object into a sensation, sparking investigations into its origin, authenticity, and classification, and often leading to dramatic increases in value once the coin is formally recognized as a rare error by experts in the field. These coins are more than just currency, they are artifacts of a production process, physical records of mistakes, and objects that capture the imagination because they represent the unexpected, the rare, and the extraordinary emerging from the ordinary, and their high valuations underscore the human fascination with rarity, imperfection, and the possibility of discovering something truly unique in a mundane world. Each type of error, whether a double die, die crack, off-center strike, broadstrike, planchet flaw, or repunched mint mark, carries its own story and visual identity, and when combined in a single coin, they create a masterpiece of serendipity that collectors prize, a tangible reminder that even the most ordinary object can contain extraordinary value when the right conditions align. The 1996 penny story also speaks to broader cultural and economic themes, including the way value is assigned not only based on intrinsic materials but on rarity, desirability, and narrative, showing that what was once considered a trivial piece of copper can, due to a combination of mechanical imperfection, human error, and collector enthusiasm, transform into an artifact worth millions of dollars, and that this transformation is as much about perception and demand as it is about the coin itself. Furthermore, the meticulous cataloging, grading, and authentication process adds legitimacy and confidence to buyers and sellers. Next, 1989 1-cent coin. Today we are going to delve into one of the most remarkable and astonishing examples of numismatic rarity, the 1989 1-cent coin, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and enthusiasts around the globe because of its extraordinary valuation, reportedly reaching as high as $14 million in certain instances, a figure that transforms what is ordinarily considered a trivial, everyday coin into an object of immense financial and historical significance. And the story behind this transformation is rooted entirely in the fascinating errors, mistakes, and anomalies that occurred during its minting and production, which have turned the humble 1989 penny into one of the most sought-after and revered items in the world of coin collecting. The 1989 penny was produced by the United States Mint during a period when coin production involved highly precise machinery, rigorous quality control measures, and automated inspection systems, yet despite these technological advances, human oversight, mechanical failure, and chance all played a role in creating a minute number of coins that deviated from the standard in ways that make them extraordinarily valuable today, demonstrating that even in the modern era, the interplay between human error and mechanical imperfection can produce items of immense rarity and desirability, and that collectors will pay unprecedented sums to acquire such pieces. Among the most notable errors that contribute to the 1989 penny's incredible value are misstrikes, off-center strikes, doubled dies, die cracks, die clashes, broad strikes, planchet errors, repunched mint marks, and variations in metal composition, each of which provides a unique insight into the minting process while simultaneously creating coins that are visually distinct, one-of-a-kind, and exceedingly rare. And when multiple errors occur on a single coin, their combined effect can propel the coin's market value into the millions, as is the case with certain 1989 pennies. Off-center strikes, for example, occur when the coin blank, or planchet, is not correctly aligned within the coin press during striking, resulting in part of the design being truncated or missing entirely, creating a striking visual anomaly that immediately distinguishes the coin from its millions of standard counterparts, and coins with significant off-center strikes are extremely rare, particularly in the late 20th century when automated alignment and quality control procedures had minimized the likelihood of such mistakes, which makes any surviving examples highly prized by collectors. Doubled dies, another form of error commonly associated with valuable pennies, occur when the die itself receives multiple impressions of the coin's design, slightly misaligned, resulting in a coin that appears to have doubled features, such as letters, numbers, or design elements, an effect that is visually arresting, mathematically improbable, and highly sought after by serious numismatists, as the doubling is nearly impossible to replicate artificially and serves as a clear indicator of a true minting anomaly. Die cracks and die chips, meanwhile, occur when the hardened metal dies develop fractures or pieces break off during production, leaving raised lines, ridges, or indentations on the surface of the coin that form patterns entirely unique to each coin, creating what can almost be described as miniature works of art. And because the patterns are unpredictable and rare, collectors place tremendous value on coins that exhibit these anomalies, with each crack or chip serving as a tangible signature of the minting process and the combination of human oversight and machine precision that produced it. Planchet errors, including variations in metal composition, incorrect thickness, improper annealing, or wrong sizing, are also significant contributors to the 1989 penny's value, as they can result in coins with unusual color, weight, sound, or surface texture, each deviation providing a tangible and measurable difference from ordinary coins while simultaneously increasing collector demand. Since the anomalies are exceedingly rare and cannot be replicated without extensive knowledge of minting processes and access to specialized materials. Broad strikes and off-center strikes can sometimes occur simultaneously with die errors, producing coins that are not only misaligned or truncated but also irregular in shape, expanded in diameter, or showing partial designs that appear almost surreal, and such combinations of anomalies are extraordinarily rare, making the coins almost museum-quality artifacts and causing their market values to skyrocket when authenticated and certified by professional numismatists. Repunched mint marks are another factor that can dramatically increase a coin's value. In this case, the small d or s indicating the mint location may have been stamped more than once on the die, slightly misaligned, creating a shadow or doubling effect that is subtle yet highly prized by collectors, particularly when combined with other errors such as off-center strikes or die cracks, as the interplay of multiple mistakes makes the coin unique and almost impossible to reproduce artificially, which is a key driver of its immense value. The rarity of these error coins cannot be overstated. While hundreds of millions of pennies were produced in 1989, only a minuscule fraction exhibit the kinds of mistakes that elevate their value into the millions, and scarcity is one of the primary factors driving their extraordinary market prices, as collectors are not only acquiring a coin but also a piece of history, a tangible artifact that embodies the chance convergence of human error, machine imperfection, and technological limitations. Economic and psychological factors also contribute to the 1989 penny's incredible valuation, as collectors are often willing to pay extraordinary sums for the assurance of owning something unique, verifiable, and documented, and the provenance of each coin, the story of who discovered it, how it was authenticated, and the chain of ownership, adds a layer of narrative that amplifies the coin's desirability, creating a market where rarity, story, and historical significance intersect to produce some of the highest valuations in the world of collectibles. The coin's appeal goes beyond simple financial speculation. It is also a source of aesthetic fascination, intellectual curiosity, and historical insight, as each era provides a window into the minting process, illustrating how even highly automated systems can produce anomalies under the influence of human oversight, material inconsistencies, or mechanical imperfections, and demonstrating the delicate balance between precision and chance that characterizes modern coin production. Possibilities for error in the 1989 penny are virtually limitless. An off-center strike could truncate Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse or leave part of the Lincoln Memorial cut off on the reverse. A die crack might create intricate patterns that run across the coin in unpredictable ways. A double die could distort letters, numbers, or design elements. Planchet anomalies could result in coins that are heavier, lighter, discolored, or unusually lustrous, and any combination of these errors multiplies the rarity and desirability exponentially, making the coin not only a collectible but a unique piece of history that tells a story about its era, the minting process, and the convergence of chance and precision. The meticulous work of collectors and numismatists further enhances the coin's value, as authentication, grading, and certification provide reassurance that the coin is genuine and allow it to be bought, sold, and studied with confidence, and the most extreme examples of error coins often become centerpiece items in private collections, museum exhibits, or high-profile auctions, where they are appreciated not just for their financial value but also for their artistic, technical, and historical significance. The discovery process itself adds a layer of excitement and intrigue, as many of these rare 1989 pennies were found in circulation, tucked away in jars, wallets, cash registers, or coin rolls, and the moment of discovery transforms a seemingly ordinary coin into a sensation, sparking investigation, documentation, and authentication, and often leading to dramatic increases in market value once the coin is formally recognized as a rare error by the numismatic community. The 1989 penny thus becomes more than just currency. It becomes a symbol of human curiosity, the thrill of discovery, and the extraordinary potential that can emerge from ordinary objects, demonstrating that even the smallest, most mundane coin can be transformed into a highly coveted artifact through a combination of error, rarity, and historical significance. Each type of error on this coin, whether a double die, die crack, off-center strike, broadstrike, planchet flaw, or repunched mint mark, tells its own story and carries its own visual identity, and when multiple errors occur on a single coin, the result is a masterpiece of chance and precision that collectors prize for its uniqueness, rarity, and aesthetic appeal, providing both tangible and intangible value, and turning a 1-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar collectible that is as much a work of art as it is a piece of currency. From a broader cultural and economic perspective, the 1989 penny also illustrates how value is assigned not simply based on material worth but on a combination of rarity. Last. 1991 1 coin. Today we are exploring the extraordinary case of the 1991 1-cent coin, a coin that in rare and unusual forms has reportedly sold for as much as $13 million, a staggering amount that instantly captures the imagination and sparks curiosity about how such an ordinary, everyday penny could possibly achieve such a colossal valuation. And as we unpack this remarkable phenomenon, we will journey deep into the world of minting errors, mechanical mishaps, human oversights, and unpredictable anomalies, all of which play a crucial role in elevating a tiny copper-coated coin into one of the most sought-after pieces in numismatic history, showing us that even in a modern minting era dominated by precision machines and rigorous quality control, mistakes can and do happen, and sometimes those mistakes end up producing coins so rare, so unusual, and so valuable that collectors will pay astronomical sums to own them. The 1991 penny represents a fascinating intersection of technology, history, human error, and chance, and the various mistakes that occurred during its production open the door to a world of possibilities, from doubled dies and misaligned strikes to off-center impressions, die cracks, die clashes, broadstrikes, wrong-planchet errors, repunched mint marks, partial collars, and even rare transitional planchets, each type of anomaly carrying its own unique story, visual identity, and value. Enhancing potential, because when a coin exhibits even one rare error, its desirability increases significantly, and when multiple errors appear together, the coin becomes a once-in-a-lifetime rarity with the potential to command staggering prices at auctions or private sales. The 1991 penny, produced during an era when the mint relied heavily on automation, still managed to yield error coins that slipped past quality inspection systems, and this is partly because the mint's equipment, while advanced, remained vulnerable to microscopic die imperfections, alignment flaws, planchet inconsistencies, environmental conditions, and even human oversight in areas like die preparation, annealing procedures, and mint mark punching, all of which contribute to a rich spectrum of possible errors that collectors pay close attention to. One of the most valuable and visually striking categories involves doubled dies, which occur when a die, the engraved steel tool used to strike the design onto the coin, receives two or more impressions of the design slightly misaligned, causing doubled or shadowed images in areas such as the date, the motto, Lincoln's profile, or the lettering on the reverse, and collectors prize these doubled dies because they are extremely rare, incredibly difficult to fake convincingly, and visually dramatic, making them one of the most popular error types to seek out. Equally compelling are off-center strikes, where the coin blank, or planchet, is improperly positioned during the striking process, causing the design to be partially missing or drastically shifted, producing an eye-catching look that is immediately identifiable and highly desirable, especially when the off-center percentage is large but still shows the date, since the date's presence is critical for authentication and valuation. Another fascinating error involves die cracks and die chips, which appear when the hardened steel dies develop fractures or broken areas during the minting process, leaving raised lines, bumps, or unusual shapes on the surface of the struck coin, effectively giving each coin a unique fingerprint, as no two die cracks form in exactly the same way. Collectors love these coins because they offer a window into the physical stresses endured by the minting equipment and provide a distinct and often visually impressive pattern that sets the coin apart from standard issues. Die clashes, another category of valuable errors, occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, causing faint impressions of one design to appear on the opposite side of the finished coin, creating ghost-like outlines or partial images that collectors find fascinating both visually and historically, as they offer direct evidence of a specific mechanical mishap inside the mint. Additionally, the 1991 penny is known to appear in wrong-planchet errors, where the coin is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination, such as a dime, producing a coin with unusual weight, diameter, thickness, color, or metallic composition. And these wrong-planchet errors are among the most valuable mistakes in numismatics because they are extremely rare and cannot be artificially produced without access to highly specialized equipment and materials. Transitional planchet errors also contribute to the value of certain 1991 pennies, as occasionally a leftover planchet from a prior year or metal composition can accidentally be fed into the press, resulting in coins that differ from the normal copper-plated zinc composition used in 1991. And these anomalies attract major attention from collectors who value any deviations from the expected metallic formula. Another important category of errors involves repunched mint marks, especially in 1991 coins where remnants of earlier mint mark punching processes could still create anomalies like shadowed, doubled, or uneven mint marks, and even though mint marks were transitioning to being machine-placed in earlier decades, lingering inconsistencies could still lead to rare and collectible repunched variations that significantly increase a coin's desirability. Broad strikes and partial collar strikes also play a role in elevating the value of rare 1991 pennies. A broad strike occurs when the collar, the metal ring that normally restricts the spread of the planchet, is not properly engaged, causing the coin to expand outward and take on an irregular shape while still exhibiting the full design, whereas partial collar strikes create a distinctive ridge or slope along the edge of the coin, both error types offering irregular and unusual shapes that immediately set them apart from standard pennies. All these error categories combine to create a wide spectrum of possibilities, and the sheer unpredictability of errors is part of what makes them irresistible to collectors, who delight in discovering the small variations, subtle anomalies, and dramatic deviations that transform an everyday penny into a multimillion-dollar artifact. The rarity of these errors cannot be overstated. While billions of pennies were minted in 1991, only a tiny fraction exhibit the errors described, and an even smaller fraction combine multiple errors in a single coin, which is where valuations soar into the millions, because collectors place the highest premium on coins that showcase multiple rare features at once, such as a double die combined with an off-center strike, a die crack crossing the design, and a wrong-planchet composition, a combination nearly impossible to replicate artificially and incredibly improbable to occur naturally, making such coins virtually priceless to those who understand the technical complexity of the minting process. The valuation of up to $13 million for certain 1991 pennies is driven by this perfect storm of factors: rarity, desirability, historical significance, dramatic visual appeal, the technical difficulty of producing such errors accidentally, and the passionate enthusiasm of collectors who seek out the most unusual and extraordinary pieces to enrich their personal collections or investment portfolios. Furthermore, the provenance of each rare 1991 penny adds another layer of intrigue and value, as coins that have been documented, authenticated, passed through notable collections, or featured in publications gain additional prestige and command even higher prices, because the story behind the coin becomes part of its identity, transforming it from a mere object into a narrative, an artifact with history, mystery, and provenance. The discovery stories surrounding some of these rare 1991 pennies are themselves extraordinary, with coins being found in pocket change, inherited coin jars, estate sales, souvenir rolls, bank bags, and random collections stored away for decades, and the moment of discovery, when an ordinary penny reveals itself to be an error coin worth millions, adds excitement and a sense of magic that fuels ongoing interest in coin hunting and numismatics. Another layer of complexity and fascination comes from the role of grading and authentication organizations, which meticulously evaluate these coins under magnification, analyze their surfaces, test their metallurgy, and document their attributes to confirm that the errors are genuine and not artificially created. And once a coin is certified as authentic by respected grading services, its market value solidifies and often increases, allowing it to be bought, sold, and traded with confidence by collectors, investors, museums, and auction houses. The 1991 penny thus becomes not only a financial asset but a historical artifact, a technical curiosity, and a testament to the unpredictable beauty of mechanical imperfection, a reminder that even in a world of machines, automation, and precision engineering, the human element, and the potential for mistakes, still plays a crucial role in shaping the objects we produce, and that sometimes those mistakes result in treasures beyond imagination. As we look deeper into the possibilities, we find that even the slightest deviation, such as faint doubling on a letter, a tiny tilt in the die alignment, a subtle planchet flaw, or a microscopic die crack, can dramatically influence a coin's classification and value, showing that numismatics is a discipline of detail.